Here we've got the 2020 Holden Colorado. It does bring a few changes to the model lineup, but not a lot. A lot of things have stayed the same. This is a model that is starting to reach the end of its life. So in terms of driveline, we've still got that 2.8 litre 4-cylinder turbo diesel, which makes 147 kilowatts and 500 Newton meters. That's a figure that's only bested by the European V6s. Pretty powerful thing and pretty nice to drive. In terms of some of the specification changes, we've got a Z71 here, got some fender flares, a few different little design changes around the place, and there's also a tub liner, a spray-in tub liner, which is now standard for Z71 and LTZ. Now this Colorado is going to be working in a very, very competitive four-wheel drive ute segment that's getting more and more advanced by the day. So is it enough to cut the mustard these days? Let's go hit the roads and find out. Not a lot has changed in this Holden Colorado, but I still think this is a pretty good thing. 500 Newton meters of torque is a really good number, and it's controlled really nicely with this gearbox. It gets along well. The LSD is a real benefit on road, especially when you're trying to put that power down. This thing can get away pretty smartly from a set of lights when you need to. Off-road, that LSD isn't going to be as good as a locker. But that being said, this thing is still pretty good. Traction control is tuned relatively well. There's no changes in that though. This is all the same as MY19 and probably MY18 as well. All Holden has really done is tailor the range and add a little bit more value. Tub liner's cool. The LSX Spec range is quite good too if you're looking for a few little black pack bits, but you don't want to spend that big money. It does have a little bit of value to it. Where this Colorado does kind of sit is in a bit of a sweet spot in the four-wheel drive ute range. It's not as expensive as a Ranger, but it's not as cheap as something like a Triton or a D-Max as well, but it does have a nice range of features about it. Nice torquey motor, you've got Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, all that sort of thing. And the thing does genuinely steer and drive quite nicely. And while it might not be the best in class off-road, it's still quite good. So, is it worth you having a closer look at? I reckon it is. This new model year means that you probably don't need to go for this one. You could look at some old stock, some run out stock, that sort of thing. You might get a really good price. But the base ute is still quite a good operator.